Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup Last Chance Qualifier. I'm your host, like always, P Hype. A little Pauly action here for some Super Smash Brothers as well as Valorant on today's Thursday card. So from 5 p.m. EST to 9 p.m. EST, we will have Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, which is going to be an East and a West division, much similar to how we did Valorant yesterday. In the East Division, to start things off with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, we have Round 1, Old Dominion taking on Tennessee. Round 1 is also going to feature Northwood versus St. Thomas. And it'll also feature Boulder taking on Adelphi. So some amazing Round 1 action right there. And Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, yes! And that'll be casted by Combo and Soy, like always. And coming up after that, at 7 o'clock, we're going to have some Valorant action. So that'll be a continuation of yesterday's tournament with the finals for Valorant concluding tomorrow. So we're going to get into some Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Whoever winds up winning this event is going to qualify for our grand final Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup LAN May 7th and 8th at the Gateway Center Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. Tickets are on sale right now at CECC.GG. You can find all the information below on the stream panels as well. So without further ado, let's kick it into high gear, baby. Let's throw it on. Collegiate Esports, the moment of hype is here. Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. Yeah. 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 Soy and Combo, over to you. Woo!
Thank you so much, Pauly. And my name is Soy. Combo is with me here in the booth, and we are here getting ready for the CECC Last Chance Qualifiers for Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. You mentioned the bracket. We've got a stacked bracket today. In our first round of the day, Northwood versus St. Thomas Aquinas is what we will be kicking off with. But what a bracket it's going to be overall, Combo.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to see all these teams, really cutting it down to the end. These are best of ones, by the way. Looking at the tournament, this is cutthroat competition, right? You're best of one. This, short crew battles. Any mistakes, any momentum, you're pretty much done, right? No best of three to back you up. No adaptations that you can make on the fly unless you're really quick with it. So, it's really scary, but it's going to be worth it for this awesome fight here for the Last Chance Qualifier to qualify a chance to go to Atlanta. I'm super excited to see what the teams are willing to bring out here today and who's going to make it out on top.
8 teams in this bracket, but we'll have to see who can make it through. Only one from this bracket goes on to Atlanta, as we mentioned, and that first round matchups, we look again, we see in the bracket, Old Dominion versus Tennessee should be a fun one. We saw Old Dominion a little bit in that Mid-Atlantic Invitational bracket, along with St. Thomas Aquinas. You look at the St. Thomas Aquinas roster overall, there's one player I'm looking at in particular, it's Derpiger. This villager went on a tear in that Mid-Atlantic Invitational, got them all the way to grand finals, but couldn't quite get the W over New Jersey City. We'll see if they can get a little bit of redemption here against Northwood. This is Higgs on the Jigglypuff, and I believe this is Neo Joe for the side of St. Thomas Aquinas on the Pokemon Trainer.
Sounds about right. We start off with PS2. Looks like we're getting a complete and whole Pokemon battle here. Jigglypuff versus Squirtle on Pokemon Stadium 2. Jigglypuff, a character you don't see super often, right? Very light, doesn't have the greatest combos and strings that are easy to confirm. There's a lot of DI mix-ups and unreliability involved with it, but ultimately she's still got a lot of air mobility and decently fast moves, especially in the air, that still give her some use. And Pokemon Trainer, a tried and true, very standard character. But oh my goodness, there is one of those confirms I was talking about right there. The down air into rest, already taking that first stock. Look at these combos.
So clean too. That down air to rest was just so well placed onto that Ivysaur. Squirtle out now, trying to get some work done, and we'll see what they can do. But I really like Higgs's movement right now. Higgs so far, that using that aerial mobility to its fullest advantage, right? Just staying away here, just knowing that they're in disadvantage, and then finding the one opening they need to continually rack up and just chip away at these stocks.
Yeah, actually terrifying how this Jigglypuff has built an entire stock lead here. Higgs is playing really well, trying to build this momentum for North Northwood University. Big thing to note here is that we have only 3 players on each team, so 9 stocks a team. Every stock counts. So with a character like Jigglypuff, who in the right position can take stocks really early with rest, or otherwise, you know, offstage gimping with back air and forward air, could be pretty useful, especially against people who aren't necessarily as attuned to the matchup, considering how rare of a character Jigglypuff is. But Charizard is pretty scary to deal with. Jigglypuff very, very light. Charizard has these massive, chunky moves that'll immediately take these stocks. This up throw might actually kill. Ooh, not quite. I was looking at that rage, looking at the platform height, and the fact that Jigglypuff's really light, but finally up smash out of shield to punish that forward air will take the next stock. So we're down to 2 stocks apiece here, but Jigglypuff's got quite the lead. Nice down into forward air. Maybe could have been looking for rest there, but you gotta be a little worried about the punishes that could come out of it. Big thing to note here is that Jigglypuff's grabs aren't necessarily the greatest, so you can kind of afford to sit and shield and not really worry too much about the payoff for if Jigglypuff goes for a grab. Nice back air off stage, and that'll be another stock down. A lot of momentum that Neojo needs to cover up here. But again, it is Jigglypuff, something that is more than doable considering her lightweight. Ivysaur can easily get a down or up air spike, or maybe go for some sort of up B kind of catch anti-air, take a stock. Another problem with Jigglypuff being so small and light, though, is that she is not always the easiest to combo as well. So that makes characters like Squirtle and even Ivysaur in the mid percents not as useful. And that's why I can kind of maybe see why Neojo's opting for Charizard a little bit more. Just wants to fish and take out those stocks as fast as possible. But that's kind of the double-edged sword. When you're playing this bigger, heavier character, allows a lot more opportunity for Jigglypuff to get what she wants going.
Ooh,
nice up smash, though. That's going to be a good anti-air. Take that stock.
Yeah, that was very well done. And Higgs' spacing overall has been really clean so far. You're seeing Neojo throw out a lot of moves, a couple of anti-airs there as well, like you said, with things like the Charizard up smash. But the drift on this character, Higgs' spacing has just been immaculate to get around a lot of these things. Even there, spacing around that up smash to find the down air, just to get a little bit more percent on. But last stock between these two, and with Charizard still on the field, I was going to say it's dangerous, but the shield break was so well done, and Higgs takes the first set.
Wow, that pound. You always have to watch out for that. Jigglypuff side B pound is a shield breaker, and it comes at you when you are least expecting. Of course, you see Jigglypuff use pound a decent amount. Helps with recovery, right? It's a good amount of air stall for her. So, of course, she'll use it a lot to get back to the stage. But you never think, oh, she won't use that offensively. It's just kind of an air stall, slight movement tech kind of move. But sometimes when you're least expecting it, that shield break comes off, and that's going to hurt. You know, fully charged forward smash from Jigglypuff will kill a Charizard at around 70-80%. So that's going to be putting Northwood here at a 1 stock lead, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see how St. Thomas Aquinas responds. I know you brought up that they played earlier in Invitational, and they seem to have a really strong Villager player, so I'm excited to see if they want to respond. Villager on this Jigglypuff, I think it's a bit weird. I feel like Villager does really well against taller characters just because you can kind of keep sniping him with forward air and back air, you know, the slingshots to keep space. But who knows? We'll see what St. Thomas has to respond to Jigglypuff.
Yeah, we'll have to see here. The St. Thomas Aquinas lineup from what we saw at that Invitational, Derpinger, the Villager player, that was especially noteworthy. They have Zack Attack, who's a Terry player as well, and Amp, the Wolf, who we saw a little bit of as well. So it's worth noting too, from that Invitational, I remember Derpinger was often the player who went in second in the lineup. He was often the second man in. Wasn't the lead, wasn't necessarily the anchor, and he got a lot of work done. If that is the case for something like this Jigglypuff matchup, I'm very curious because the forward airs and back airs of a character like Villager kind of, in theory, stuff out where Jigglypuff wants to be with that certain jump height. But also, once Jigglypuff gets in, can easily contest kind of that aerial space that Villager also likes to occupy. So it could be kind of a double-edged sword type of matchup. But that's really the Jigglypuff game plan, right? You play this light character that could die very early, but you could also take stocks very early if you are able to read a few defensive options here or there. And so far, Higgs has done a very good job of that, especially throughout that game against Neojo. Just time and time again, I gotta credit the spacing overall, even on the last pound too, to read that, hey, he's been shielding a lot, like you said, mentioning that he's leaving himself open to a grab because it doesn't seem all that threatening, but he sees how low that shield is as the game goes later on, and finally lands that side B, one he hadn't really thrown out as an offensive move all game. So it was very well done by Higgs.
Absolutely. Yeah. Even when I was talking about that, I was thinking in my mind, oh, there's nothing wrong with just holding Shilling and Jigglypuff. What is Jigglypuff going to do? Completely forgetting the offensive capability that Pound has up until the moment it happened. I'm like, man, that was a very hidden commentator's curse that I pulled right there. That was insane. But yeah, specifically about the Jigglypuff and Villager matchup, it takes a lot of precision to kind of deal with the space that Jigglypuff wants to cover because of how mobile she is in the air. I think both these characters being smaller are kind of favored against taller, bigger characters. So both these characters won't really be able to do what they want to entirely do against one another, right? Jigglypuff wants to keep snuffing out in the air, but Jigglypuff's got the air momentum to deal with it. But at the same time, Jigglypuff wants to get her relatively unreliable strings off on you, but Villager is kind of small, so it's going to be a lot harder to pull off. And doesn't have bad air mobility himself, too. He can still contest in the air decently well. So it really just kind of depends on how they want to play around each other. I do think that Jigglypuff has the better air mobility, but that doesn't necessarily mean she has the better air game, considering the moves that Villager has at his arsenal and the way he can hold ledge as well, right? Ledge trapping is pretty big for Villager, so it could be pretty scary for the Jigglypuff here. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. There is the Villager. Yep, second in lead.
We'll have to see. This is Derpager on that Villager, so we've seen Derpager in the past be kind of this anchor, this carry, this captain for St. Thomas Aquinas overall. But this is that unique matchup that we were talking about, and I'm curious to see, okay, Town and City, or sorry, this is Town and City, my apologies for this game. Only one stock here on the board. Remember, Higgs only won via one stock in that last game, and we're about to get underway. So we'll see if that aerial control comes into play here. Those projectiles kind of the name of the game for Villager, but they've got some other boxing combos they can pull off. It's just a matter of if they can find that area, that space to pull those off in the first place, because right now Higgs is being kept to the sky, and right now not finding a clean way in, kept to the ledge already. The tree plant as well. That's something that I remember Derpager also did a really good job of, using this tree as kind of a bait for other moves, things like the Lloyd Rocket, things like the bowling ball. That axe swing also, I think, ever present in Higgs's mind as this matchup continues.
Been kind of struggling to landing significant hits here. Derpager has been keeping a perfect space and distance, covering so many options. There's the double turnip up air. That'll already take it. Now we're back to even. Looks like Derpager stopped Higgs right in his tracks, preventing any momentum from being built by Northwood. Now we're to 2 players apiece. Things are moving quickly. Things are moving really fast.
Yeah, and just like that, things are back to even between these two. So Derpager able to take that stock, even things back out between these two. And again, this is the last chance qualifier for these two schools. So, it's everything on the line just in this best of one between these two schools. Now, Northwood, haven't seen as much of their roster overall, but I mean, they got to this point, so they've surely got that anchor that could possibly answer to Derpager. But I think one of the other things too that you saw, right, Higgs could, like you said, couldn't really land that strong hit, and that's something that Derpager does a really good job of, with that kind of bait and switch type of game plan, with things like the tree and using the Lloyd Rockets as well. That sort of plays to Villager's advantage. Is there a certain kind of character or play style you're looking for to possibly counter that exactly, or is there something else you're looking for?
For Villager, my greatest experience is kind of looking at Villager. I remember is back in Smash 4 with Marth, right, where you want to place very patient, walk up and block, and then kind of use your disjoints to once you're in your own range. Right, so have that sword character, have that that space coverage, right, to kind of deal with Villager, because Villager will be playing things that go a decent mid to far range, right? But if you can kind of filter your way through the early onslaught and get into your own range, then you just can take care of it. And right now, we are seeing the Sephiroth pick here, not exactly like Marth, but definitely under the sword character archetype, and they've got the range that they can probably try and work with here to take care of Villager. Another matchup that I think also kind of works against Villager is just really, really fast characters that have strong, solid combos that get good damage off, right? So yeah, you can have your Mithra, you can have your Sonic, your Pikachu even, although Pikachu I think is a little bit slower and might struggle with that just a tad bit more. But if you don't give Villager any space to breathe, even though Villager does have a decent amount of get off me moves, you see stuff like Nair and the turnips up air and down air covering good range above and below, like just kind of these active hitbox around it, right? Up tilt lasts a good amount of time as a pretty good anti-air, and so on, right? Villager has these kind of get off me moves that maybe aren't necessarily the fastest, but with the right read, they can kind of get around people just getting out on them really hard. So if you have disjoints, or if you're just super fast, I think those would probably be the best characters you want to pull in here against Villager. I mean, if you've got both, that's great too, right? I mean, a Lucina or a Chrom also might do fine. Only problem is you don't want to get edge guarded, because Villager's got good ledge trapping and good edge guarded games, so you have to be careful. You might just get slammed by random bowling ball forward smash off stage. You never know, right? Always got to be looking out for stuff like that. But again, I think the Sephiroth pick is fine. I do worry about Sephiroth being tall and a little bit slower. I don't think Sephiroth necessarily has the projectile game to keep up with the output. He does have his neutral B, and that is a good projectile in itself on its own. But when you're playing against effectively a zoner matchup, I don't know if it's going to be enough. But we'll have to wait and see how this game plan kind of goes. So far, we're seeing a lot of aerials being thrown out just to cover these projectile trades. Right, we see that up air to beat the Lloyd Rocket, the Nair to beat some of the slingshots, but nonetheless, that tall body is not going to help him in this situation. Look at that get off me, that Villager Nair to stop Sephiroth in the middle of his combo. That's how you know this Villager knows what he's doing.
Absolutely a case there, and you can see Seth right now on the Sephiroth having a little bit of a struggle getting in, but look at the damage they can do once they get in. Hard for him to get out. Oh my goodness, that shield was almost gone, and my goodness, following him down there. How did Seth know that he was just going to stay down there? That was so well read. And what turned into a disadvantage scenario all of a sudden is flipped on its head. It's Seth who's in the lead.
I'm super impressed by the small set of plays that Seth had made right there to go from being down 60% to an entire stock up ahead, right? He goes for the same up throw combo and it, tries to go for the Nair again for the confirm, gets it, and then reads the follow up and tries to cover a lot of aerial space with the up air. And then after it lands on the ground, reads the Villager shielding with a down smash charge, which is a great shield breaker, by the way. So if Villager kept pulling shield, that shield would absolutely be broken. So Villager decides to let go of shield, take that damage, right? Suddenly they are off stage. And now the read from Sephiroth to catch with the back air to land that kill was just absolutely incredible. But now Villagers finally get Sephiroth up to enough percent for the back throw to kill. But look at this percent difference here, and you have to worry about Sephiroth's side B stacking up on you too. You would never know when you're going to lose your advantage state because of it.
Ooh, read the roll in with the bowling ball.
Read.
That's a good plant there. Up B, got around the bowling ball. I don't think he was able to drop it in time, so good job there by Seth to get back. And now Derpinger is the one, was in stage control. That quick up B actually reversing the scenario once more. And it's these quick turnarounds that Seth is finding time and time again that have, I think, so far been the story of this game, but right now it's still relatively even. That percent is still very much so in Seth's favor, and the spacing on that back air was so clean, and just like that, Derpinger's on their last stock.
Yeah, and don't forget Sephiroth's ability to use Nursilla, his down B, that counter, will always go off even if you don't hit it, but if you do happen to hit it, the percent stacking on that is ridiculous. We saw a Lloyd Rocket take him to 24% off one Nursilla counter, so I don't know. I think Sephiroth kind of, despite at the very beginning, I feel like getting swarmed by a lot of the projectiles, actually seems to know what they are doing. What a forward air for the stage spike. Seth put down Derpinger like it was nobody's business, walking away with a 2-stock lead. What an early gimp. That is pretty huge considering the kind of importance that Derpinger has for the team of St. Thomas Aquinas. And now we see Seth come here with his Sephiroth to deal with this matchup so eloquently, so aggressively. I'm amazed. I love watching great Sephiroth players, and that was definitely a good time.
Yeah, that was so well done too. Like you said, I think aggressiveness really was a huge factor in that matchup, because Derpinger does such a good job of trying to pull that bait and switch, or trying to set up plays. Things like the Lloyd Rockets and the edge guards with the bowling ball drop. He never had the time really to get all that set up. Even when he did, Seth had that upbeat with just enough range to kind of counteract it. Just did such a good job of quickly reversing scenarios that usually Derpinger is able to kind of push his advantage of. But Seth did such a good job of finding his way and navigating around those scenarios to find just those one or two hits to completely reverse the scenario, turn it on its head. And those quick reactions from Seth were so well done overall, just very clean. And because of that, he's still holding 2 stocks here and headed on to St. Thomas Aquinas' last player.
Yeah, that's a pretty significant lead here. And, especially considering that this is best of 1, again, that is very, very scary for St. Thomas Aquinas. Everything is on their last play right now. Whoever it is, whatever character they've got, they need to be ready to put down a sweep if they want to keep their team in the bracket here for this last chance qualifier and make it all the way to Atlanta. They're on their back legs. 5 stocks to 3 is not going to be easy. So it looks like we're getting a Terry player coming in next. That is a character with a lot of potential. We've seen Terry on this stream before do really, really well. Historically, a lot of online competitions, especially, Terry tends to do pretty well because people are not. You need to be quick on your feet. You got to be quick on your feet to do a Terry, and sometimes online can make that a little bit tougher. But yeah, Terry definitely a great character. That can pull in a lot of momentum, but I think this specific matchup, I don't think the fighting game characters do particularly well against sword characters, and so I feel like this is scary pulling in, but at the same time, this is the roster you have lined up. There's not much you can do, right? If you put your Terry player third, they have to be ready to deal with whatever's coming in next. So Sephiroth Terry, I think this is going to be a little bit scary for the Terry player. Northwood is in a very good position here, but I wouldn't count St. Thomas Aquinas out just yet. There's a lot of potential here. It helps that Sephiroth is a little bit taller. Just to land those confirms that some characters might be able to DI or air dodge out of. We'll see how well that comes into effect, but I'm excited to see where Terry can take us.
Zack Attack, the last hope here for St. Thomas Aquinas, and we'll have to see what he can do. I think this matchup similarly is kind of a double-edged sword where, Terry only needs those few kind of neutral interactions to really rack up the percent and get the kill possibly. But also, I think the huge key here for Zack Attack is to be able to play around those super high percents. When Go comes online, Zack Attack has to be on point, but he's not going to get the chance to. The fully charged neutral B takes the stock, and Seth has taken, the first stock of this one, and only taken 37% here.
Yeah, that is a huge lead now, an entire 3-stock lead for Northwood University. Look at this percent. We're looking about even here. It seems like Seth just has Zack Attack's number. He has these great mix-ups at ledge to be able to recover. He's able to get a lot of side Bs off. He's able to catch his own recovery. Look at these forward airs. And Zack Attack is gone. 1 stock left for Zack Attack, 1 stock left for St. Thomas Aquinas. This is looking very, very tough right now. Seth has got it going on. He knows exactly what needs to be done here to deal with a character like Terry. Sure, he'll get hit by a couple power dunks. I'm surprised that Sephiroth neutral beat did not actually connect to mid power dunk. There might have been during the invincibility frames, which is amazing timing. I don't know if that was intense or not by Zack Attack, but that was awesome to witness. But here we have 5 stacks of Sephiroth side B. Gonna hit Zack Attack. I think he tried to use the invincibility from Rising Tackle to get around it, but instead made himself go way higher and then get hit by it after that. The wing activation allowed Sephiroth to air dodge out of that power dunk combo. Incredible timing.
Zack Attack right now at 82%. He has got to play perfect on this stock, but the hitbox of that up B nearly putting him off stage there, but he'll be able to make it back. Gets around that down smash power dunk. Won't be able to take the stock quite yet. The forward air knocks him back. Go is now online. Does he pull the trigger on something? No. Plays patient here and doesn't get the jabs. The down smash connects and Northwood is on to the next round.
Sephiroth went straight for the cleave at Terry's legs and he got sent flying. Seth, his tag on the Switch was Sephiroth. Seth went absolutely ham today for Northwood University up against your St. Thomas Aquinas, putting down Derfier as one of the a very important player on the team as the villager, a character you're not super used to, a bit more on the gimmicky side. And Seth, after maybe 30 to 40 seconds of getting pummeled around a bit by the villager, had absolutely no problem putting him down, right? And in this game, effectively wins off a 3-stock. Didn't lose a single stock here to Zack Attack, making great reads. Look at that neutral B explosion, right? And then also this great forward air, double forward air edge guard, rather. First forward air after the burn knuckle, and the second one towards the blast zone. Oh my goodness. It was just a great time, an absolute blast watching Seth put the work in on St. Thomas Aquinas. Northwood University is going to move on to play against Old Dominion, who had won with 5 stocks remaining. We're moving through this bracket pretty quickly. I mean, this is best of one. You got 3 players on each side. It's quick and dirty. What can you do?
Yeah, it was very well done. Quick and dirty, the name of Seth's gameplay there. That was dirty what he just did to St. Thomas Aquinas there. But we will be getting ready for a short break here to get ready for our next match and possibly an interview, but we'll get word of that later. We'll be cutting to a short intermission. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back after this. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the CECC Last Chance Qualifier. We just saw Northwood get the victory over St. Thomas Aquinas, and a huge portion of that victory was the sensational Sephiroth player, Seth, and he'll be joining us for a quick interview here. And I mean, what a player he was, combo, in that series.
Yeah, I'm very, very excited to get a couple words and a bit of insight from him, especially since this won't be the last that we'll be seeing of him, considering that his team is moving on to play in the next match we have scheduled. So we're getting a lot of Seth right now, and I'm all here for it.
All right, so let's bring in Mr. Seth here, the Sephiroth player who took down, I believe, 6 stocks in that last match. Seth, congrats on your victory, and how are you feeling about your play this week?
I was kind of surprised with it, honestly. I've been taking a break since Genesis. I haven't played very much in the last couple days, and I guess it was just long enough to be a refresher, but not too long that I was rusty because of everything I thought, all the grudges I've held from losing in Genesis. I made some good adjustments right off the bat, right going into game 1.
Yeah, absolutely the case there. So you guys get the victory over St. Thomas Aquinas, and I mean, you in particular, we were talking about how St. Thomas Aquinas had, this villager player that had seemingly been playing with his pants on fire coming into the postseason, but you seem to shut him down pretty quickly. Is that a matchup you're familiar with, or is that just something that you were kind of ready for?
Yeah, that's kind of it's a matchup and a play style familiarity thing. I'd say if I had one kind of attribute what that makes me stand out as a player, is that I'm on the upper tier in terms of experience. I've been playing for 7 years since the beginning of Smash 4, and I've got just millions of matches under my belt, so I know how to avoid getting run over. He started out with a lot of momentum, and that's something that if you're not ready for it, if you're not used to it, if you haven't lost to it and come back before, then you can find yourself getting 3-stocked regardless of the actual skill matchup between the two. But I've played a ton of villagers, and Smash 4 is a lot more common of a character, and his design is relatively the same in this game. So I honestly just use my experience with that kind of play style more than anything.
I know you bring up a lot of veteran kind of experience, considering that you also play in Smash 4, and we see Sephiroth is one of the newer characters in DLC Pack 2. So I'm just interested, based off kind of the way you played Sephiroth and how made it seem so natural, how you flew like off stage and had so many different gimmicks and so many different things to mess with people at ledge. I'm just kind of curious about what characters you might have played before Sephiroth was released into Ultimate, both in Smash 4 and in early Ultimate.
So in Smash 4, throughout its whole lifespan, I was a Captain Falcon main. And when Cloud came out, I did give 100% of my effort into maining him for the first couple months, and it didn't really pan out. And by the time Smash 4 was fizzling out, everybody was taking it less seriously. I was still bringing Cloud out as like a secondary, but he never really compared to the results I would get with Falcon. And then when Smash 4 came out, I mained Palutena. I wanted to, since a new game, new me, I'm going to just main the top tier, just suck it up and play not who I like, but who's good. And so I played Palutena for, I don't know, a year or two. Honestly, I think it was mostly Ultimate's lifespan. I was just a Palutena main with the Crom secondary up until I moved out here to California last August. And then that was the point where I realized like Smash is no longer my main focus. I'm not trying to play it all the time, be the best. And I'm just going to go back to the character that somehow I'm still better with. So I played Captain Falcon, and I picked up Sephiroth, around the same time he came out, and Sephiroth is just my favorite video game character in the world. So I couldn't stop playing him, and I ended up coincidentally just splitting my time between Falcon and Sephiroth, and it ended up to where he was good enough to be my co-main. So I didn't really plan on, committing to Sephiroth or even committing to this game for very long in general. But even with all the time constraints of moving and getting a job, I've kept up.
It's great. Is there any matchups that you still keep Captain Falcon or maybe even Cloud or Palutena or Crom in the back pockets for? Is there anything specific you don't like playing as Sephiroth that you might switch up the character for?
I still go Falcon, I think, in most matchups. Villager was one of the outliers. Like I would say I'm more of a 55-45 in Falcon's favor when it comes to how often I use each character for matchups. Sephiroth is mostly for like zoning type matchups, that kind of thing. Just anyone who is stuffing Falcon's approaches, that's who I'm going to use Sephiroth for. And I already knew beforehand, I'm going in versus a villager. This is one of the outlier matchups that I would use Sephiroth for.
Yeah. Okay. So my last question for you before we take a short intermission. What do you think is your biggest strength as a player and on this team overall? We haven't seen your team a whole lot throughout this season, but I mean, you showed up big today. So what do you think your biggest strength is as a player?
My biggest strength is got to go back again to the veteran status. This game has a lot of, the most characters of any Smash game, and it's got a lot of gimmicks, matchups, just things you're not experienced with even years and years into the game, especially as the meta evolves and these types of things haven't been in the game per se for the first year or two of the game. And so I've built up a very quick way of adapting and dealing with things that I don't know. Like I have experience in my inexperience and I know how to deal with it. The rest of Northwood are some, very new, passionate, go in and learn, and they like throw themselves into each game, and sometimes, they get better and better, but there are some matchups that if they don't know it, they don't have time to learn it. They can't make that adjustment right off the fly. And I have a more of an adaptive play style because I've been doing this for so long.
Yeah, and it certainly showed today, especially in that last matchup. So thank you so much, Seth, for joining us. And we'll let you get ready for your upcoming matchup against Old Dominion.
Thank
Best
you.
of luck.
All right, and with that, we'll be taking a short break to get ready for that matchup as well. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, Old Dominion versus Northwood for a spot in grand finals in this last chance qualifier. Don't touch that dial now. We're just getting started. Hello, everyone.
Welcome back, everyone.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, no, we're both in a rush right now. We had a lot of things going on behind the scenes in terms of arena setup and getting all the casters and all the materials and everything ready. But I think we're going to be hopping into the game very, very, very quickly, if not like right now. It seems like everything has already been set up, and then we should be good to go. So we're hopping into Northwood versus Old Dominion. So we just saw Northwood take a pretty commanding victory over St. Thomas Aquinas 5-0. And similarly, Old Dominion had also beaten, let's see who that was really quickly, Tennessee. Yeah, 5-0 as well. So both these teams, 5-0 teams over their previous opponents, both are pretty well slated to perform at this event, and I'm excited to see more of both teams. Really, we got some interesting characters, interesting lineups from both ends, and I'm curious to see how they're all going to match up. So we're getting another Jigglypuff and Villager run back again. Well, this matchup is a little bit odd, but now they're even, right? It's a 3 stock to 3 stock. It's not a 1 stock to 3 stock, so it gives Higgs some more opportunity to adapt, learn out how Villager is supposed to work just a little bit more, and most importantly, manage that aerial space that Villager always loves taking control over.
Yeah, and Germ too, a very different Villager from Derpager in the previous game too. But right now, Germ is the one, again, finding early momentum here, getting a lot of percent on early, keeping that tree on the field and using that axe, just trying to find the strong hits. But my goodness, the way that, again, Higgs is just finding ways to weave in around these projectiles, find down airs to combo, cuts into that lead a little bit, but is still Higgs on the back foot here.
Right. Something to note is that Villager has surprisingly strong kill moves, right? The forward smash, the down B with the axe, even the edge gimping with things like forward and back air, down or up air as well, right? All of these are actually surprisingly stronger than you think. We just saw Villager take a kill here again with back throw. Not the first time we've seen it on today's stream. Just something to worry about, especially as a Jigglypuff player where, you're very light, you might get thrown off stage very early and die. Nice forward smash read, though, and that's going to send Germ down entire stock. Now we're about even stock-wise. Percent is still something that Higgs is going to have to make up for, but these slingshots are making it tough. Nice pound for momentum. Tries to go for a grab, but we see Germ mash out a jab there, so instead they're going to trade, and no one is going to get advantage there. That's really smart by Germ, not to fall into the Jigglypuff grab yet again after a downer, after getting hit by it the first time.
Yeah, it was so
good adaptation.
Smart.
Nice up smash for anti-air as well, and that's the entire stock down. Effectively a stock lead. Looking a little bit rough here for Higgs.
Yeah, and again, I think that difference in play style is really coming to fruition here, right? Derpager, very momentum-based, but it's Germ here with this patient play, just chipping away at the few small overextensions that Higgs has gone for, right? Higgs kind of known for drifting in and finding that one down air combo, but outside of that, really hasn't been able to find much. Pound hasn't landed, forward airs haven't really been able to find their mark quite yet. There's something. He's got a string here. Good forward throw. Wants the edge guard, but again, the Lloyd Rocket stopping him from pressing any further, and Germ just with really good control over the pace of this matchup so far. Even here got stage control as well, covering a lot of options too with all these projectiles and the explosion on the Lloyd Rocket as well. It's not going to be enough to take the stock quite yet though, but Higgs is on his last legs here. That nair
that's
traded
an axe.
And that, oh no, yeah, no, sorry.
That's an axe. Germ is so axe happy. One of the most axe happy villagers I've ever actually seen. It looks like Germ puts up tree, not because he wants to have any sort of stage control or any sort of pressure at all. He literally just wants to axe you. You see, he started jumping around, throwing out axe. Just this man loves it. This man loves throwing out the axe. It's incredible. Very aggressive, especially once he's put down the tree already. There it is, coming out again. Next thing he's gonna do is probably axe in the air, or at least pretty close to it. Nice up smash there. Actually, that was the anti-air, but the final stock will be taken with an axe, as we're gonna be seeing here pretty soon. That almost killed. I do think that was the Lloyd Rocket explosion, but that wasn't quite it. Watch it here. Here's the first axe. He's about to throw another one. There it is. He had the startup frames right there for the axe swing, and they're going to trade. That's going to kill the Jigglypuff. I don't know if he always plays like that or if that's just something he's really hungry for because Jigglypuff is so light. It could go either way. I think it's pretty funny. I honestly am enjoying watching him just put down this tree, and the tree has so much usefulness on its own. He doesn't care about that. It's just axe. Only axe, just running around, jumping in the air, landing with it, whatever you can do. It's pretty funny. I'm quite the enjoyer of that. But Germ is going to move on here. I believe that's with a 2-stock lead over Northwood so far. So that's going to put Old Dominion in a pretty good position here. 8-6. That's right. I can do math. And I'm curious to see who Northwood wants to send in next. Go ahead.
No, I wonder too. You said, like he is very kind of axe happy with it. I wonder if it's because of the Jigglypuff matchup specifically, right? We were thinking earlier about how the forward air of Villager is something that Jigglypuff is just gonna have to worry about with that aerial space. And if the Jigglypuff is able to get around that forward air, what's the next place he's going to be? Right on top of you, right in front of you. And that axe is kind of the perfect answer for it, right? Just forward air and then axe to cover where the Jigglypuff wants to be. So I wonder if that was the kind of adaptation that Germ had and why he was throwing out that move so often. Because, it's not necessarily the safest move, but if it's a good read on where the player is going to be, then why not throw it out, especially like you said, on a very light character. But either way, just very well done there by Germ. Just felt like really from start to finish that he had a good grasp of what he wanted to do and never really got his game plan really messed with. Just kind of was able to roll that momentum all the way through to the end.
Yeah, looks like Higgs also kind of struggles in the Villager match. Villager does have a lot of tools, a lot of hitboxes to be throwing out, and considering Jigglypuff has no disjoints, it makes it a little bit rough. And I was thinking that the Jigglypuff's size actually is going to make Slingshot a lot harder to use, but it really Villagers don't stop using Slingshot whether you're up close to them or not. And if you're right in front of their face, that is still going to hit you all the time. So you see Jigglypuff always likes to drift kind of in front of you, right above you, over you, and Villager has quite a few moves that can actually cover that space, right? We saw the up smash anti-air earlier. We do see a lot of the kind of jump Slingshot either forward or backward in responses as well. And of course, we're also seeing the really funny axe, right? There's a lot of different things that Villager seems to have in response to the way Higgs' playstyle with Jigglypuff is. So I think it's going to take a lot more work from Jigglypuff players to kind of work their way around Villager. But looks like we're going to be having Terry sent in next here.
Yeah, Terry versus matchup. Villager. Yeah, this is, like you said, a very weird matchup. Again, I always think that when a Terry's on the field, you have to worry about when Go comes online. That's when things are the most dangerous because you could take that stock away early, or you could potentially lose a lot of your kill power very instantly. So Germ will have to SD this first stock, but Rage Link, we didn't get to see him in that very first matchup of the day. Curious to see what he brings to the table here.
Right, Seth had covered too many stocks, so now we have Rage Link finally stepping up to the plate, and I'm curious to see what he has to offer, and that probably also means that Seth is waiting in the back here for Northwood as their third and final player. But as of now, the way I kind of perceive this matchup is Terry, a bit of a taller character, not the tallest, but taller, is going to have himself getting clipped by a lot of projectiles, whether it be Lloyd Rockets, slingshots, and or bowling balls. So Terry is also going to struggle to land a lot of the combos because Villager is smaller, so has a better probability of kind of falling out of things like jab power dunk or double down tilt rising tackle or down tilt burn knuckle. A lot of the confirms are just gonna be a little bit harder for Terry to deal with, and as of now he's been being spaced out a bunch. Like, Germ has absolutely no problem just playing the kind of looping game, the zoning game. Nice throw there for the back there. We have Go on deck. A bit of lag, and that is an unfortunate time for lag to spike as well, because that is a bowling ball that smacked Rage Link right upside the head, and he wasn't able to recover. We're seeing this down tilt ledge trapping. We're going to have a get up attack to beat it. That does have some invul on startup. Ooh, nice spot dodge after the burn knuckle is going to get forward smash for it anyway. This is looking a little tough for Rage Link.
Yeah, Rage Link right now, like you said, just really struggling with the projectile game because, I mean, how do you contest all of these quick aerials that Germ can really throw out? And this recovery, too, that bowling ball, if that connected, Rage Link was in for a world of hurt. But right now, it's Rage Link with center stage control, but just can't really find a way to break through neutral. Germ doing such a good job of maintaining his space and just finding ways around where this Terry wants to approach from. Go is online. That should help. but that's a power dunk to get the percentage up 91%. That is relatively kill percent, but still can't quite find a strong hitbox. Again, Germ just keeping this Terry at bay is the name of the game right now.
Right, that was the first jab power dunk in almost 2 minutes of gameplay, right? With Terry, you think that's exactly what Terry does. And that's kind of the problem here for Rage. Like, Terry is not able to do what Terry normally does. You know, if you let him jab power dunk you for the first time 2 minutes in, you know this Terry is not being able to play the game right now. And that's another stock down after the shield pressure from the bowling ball. Terry can try and contest grounded projectiles with things like grounded power wave and, pushing forward with things like Burn Knuckle and even Crack Shoot. But the problem here is Villager's aerial projectiles with the slingshot, the aerial Lloyd rockets, and even the way he goes on the platforms to drop off bowling balls. But finally, we get a Burn Knuckle confirmed to take a stop. We still have a 50% deficit here on Ragelink. Germ is doing mad work for the team right now. That is, what, 5 stocks taken so far? Probably looking at a 6th here, considering how difficult it's been for Ragelink to land pretty much anything. Terry just doesn't have enough range to contest here. Another bowling ball. My goodness, that ledge bowling ball has been quite the killer for Ragelink. I do ultimately realize that Terry doesn't have a whole lot of invincibility at ledge, right? The up B doesn't snap to ledge perfectly. None of his hitboxes to recover are disjointed by any means, right? Burn Knuckle is not disjointed, Crack Shoot's not disjointed. So even if you're trading with the bowling, in this case, it didn't even trade. The bowling ball just went all the way through. It just won that interaction. But even at trades, like a bowling ball hit is definitely like going to kill at ledge compared to getting hit by a Burn Knuckle for what, maybe like 10-15%? Like when you're at the opposite end, you're fine. Like that's not going to be a problem, especially if you're at low percent. So Germ is doing amazing for Old Dominion right now. We're already down to the last player of Northwood. Meanwhile, Old Dominion is still on their first player. That's quite the stock climb to make. Seth is going to have to take 7 stocks too. We've seen Seth take quite a lot of stocks before. We've seen him take 6 last game. Right. But can he do the 7 here? Can he take care of Germ without losing any stocks and also managing his only 3 stocks to take care of the next 6? Is that possible for Seth? I mean, I could see it, right? The problem here is, as Seth brought up in the interview, he has certain characters that he likes to deal with for certain matchups. So now I don't know how much he knows about what characters are going to be upcoming for Old Dominion, right? So now the decision comes on to him. Where does he want to pull a gambit with either Sephiroth or Captain Falcon? What's covering the most matchups here? So already off the bat, you think, oh, the opener is Villager, right? So we know that Seth kind of knows how to take care of Villager with his Sephiroth. So you think, oh, Sephiroth's a lock, right? But if you want to get mixed in with some polarizing matchups later on, it could get scary. I still think the safer pick here would be the Sephiroth. I feel like Falcon is even more so on the like inconsistent side of the way his links land and things like that. Like the strings just don't always hit, and Falcon is I think pretty difficult to play. But he's actually committing to the Captain Falcon here because of the matchup gambit. I am personally not that surprised because he did say he was a 55-45 Falcon to Sephiroth player. So if you think about it statistically, right, if you have too many unknowns, why not just go Falcon? But at the same time, I think Germ can really give Seth a run for his money with this Villager right now. I am more than curious to see what will happen.
Yeah, I'm curious as well. And it's like, he said in the interview, right? He's, a little bit more practiced in the Captain Falcon. And I think he also said too in that interview, right, that when it comes to Villager, he actually wasn't as, prepared with the Sephiroth, but just decided to let it roll. But he's a little bit more comfortable with the Captain Falcon against a Villager. So we'll have to see how he does here. Germ, again, only 1 stock to take off of this Villager. So the big key here, I think, for Seth is just get this one off the board without dropping any. Just take this first stock here early, because holding those next 3 for possibly the next 2 sets is going to be massive. As Germ, that forward smash lands. That's huge. But the up B gets him back just in time. Good defensive play there by Seth to make it back to that ledge, but still has to play very carefully here at 74. That back throw can do a lot of work along with the Lloyd rocket.
Nice early up B to make it back to the stage to kind of deal with the now more so predictable forward smash ledge trap. But Seth is playing a scary game here. Oh my goodness. What a ledge drop knee into the stage. That is probably untechable and Germ goes flying. So far, Seth is fulfilling the initial part of his own prophecy, his duty to his team. Take that one stock without losing any. And now let's see how well the Falcons going to play out for the rest of these matchups, because I don't really know exactly what we're getting into, but I think we have an inkling of an idea. That's not an actual reference, by the way. We're not dealing with an inkling. My bad. I just see that. I can see how that comes up in speech. But my goodness, that final stock was incredible. The fact that Seth was able to stay alive for so long, that bowling ball, actually, when it was dropping, the one that did hit him and almost killed him, it was dropping. It happened to hit like his feet. What happens is when he grabbed ledge, he had that legend vulnerability for, however many frames it gives it to you, right? But it wore off while the bowling ball still had an active hitbox. So it hit like the bottom of Falcon, and he was just barely able to recover. That was so scary. My heart leapt there. But now I'm excited to see how Seth is going to have to deal with the rest of these matchups. His Falcon is still something to witness, right? I was thinking this matchup, he's missing a lot of what you'd like to have against Villager, right? Falcon does have the speed, but Falcon doesn't have the range, doesn't have the disjoints, doesn't have any sort of projectile game. He's tall, he's a fast faller. You think everything is going against him, but that speed was so important there. The aggressiveness, just the absolute get in there mentality that you really need to have as a Falcon player, but especially how it works out in this matchup and the way you maneuver and weave around things despite your bigger size. It was truly quite masterful from Seth's angle. And I don't know, we'll have to just wait and see what kind of other matches we have to be dealing with. Are he going to get walled out by another like a more disjoint, slower matchup, like a Sephiroth to respond against Falcon maybe, or just another sword character? Is he going to get absolutely hard zoned by a character like Snake, or maybe go for something in between, maybe like a Rosalina? There's the Snake. Oh my goodness, this is going to be a weird matchup too. I think this is very much like your traditional zoner rushdown matchup, where I think either character stands a good chance against one another. It's just really about both executing their game plans as best as they can. Falcon again just wants to be running in there, and Snake is going to have to be dealing with a lot of get off me options. Again, those grenades are going to be very helpful with getting Falcon off you. What a Raptor boost, no confirmed afterwards though. I do like the up air strings that Seth has going for him. He's able to land those confirms pretty well. That C4 actually connected. Oh my goodness. So we have Get Nicked On as the Snake player here, and he's been doing amazing so far. What an explosive, no pun intended, stock so far. This is something else.
Yeah, I think one of the things that comes to mind when I see a Snake on screen is that I feel like they play best when they have the lead, because there are so many times when they can just use the grenade to trade, percentage, or trade for positioning, or whatever the case may be. You approach, you hold that grenade on shield, and you can, just kind of get out of whatever scenario there is. The Nikita missile ends up taking that stock there. Also, the ability to take advantage of, at least in particular, Captain Falcon's recovery being pretty linear overall, or at least readable overall is, I guess, what I should say. And so it becomes kind of that matchup of, can Nick hold the lead, or will Seth be able to find his one or two openings to really get those combos and find those kill moves? Seth certainly playing with confidence as he reads the landing there with the down smash to even up that stock count, but every little bit of percent and any stock Nick takes is huge in this matchup overall. So back to even between these two, and again, that grenade play, I think, ever present in Seth's mind.
Yeah, look at that momentum shift though. After Seth took that stock from Get Nicked On that first time, was a bunch of percent there too, huge. But what an incredible bounce combo there, dash him into an explosion to get him sent straight up. That was incredible. That's great set play here. That's the kind of things you need to be doing as a Snake player to kind of get rid of the opposition. Now we're approaching even percent with the entire stock difference, but Seth is not down and out of the count just yet. He's want to take care of this 104% stock as fast as he can. One knee would definitely do it, but he's going to need a harder read than that, considering the difficulty of landing most knees in most situations here. But I mean, I think Get Nicked On is perfectly content with playing this kind of trading game, considering the war of attrition would end in his favor. We are really close to even percent. With all this rage to an up tilt, definitely do it. Here's the Nikita. Great up air from recovery on Seth, but this is looking really scary. What a Falcon kick. Here is the grab. Not quite the perfect guaranteed percent for the up tilt to connect, but there's the up tilt to anti-air, the Falcon kick. And that is going to take it. Get Nicked On is going to take it over Seth. 2 stocks over none, and overall that is going to put Old Dominion at I believe 5 stock victory. yet again. So far, all the results we've had reported have been 5-stock victories. So that's pretty dominating over Northwood. They're going to take it and move on further into the bracket. I think that puts them in
Grands.
Yeah, that puts them in grand finals. That's going to be crazy. Well, they have quite a lot of time until the next supposed match, so they can kind of take their time. They can chill out for a bit. Great run on Northwood's end, though. I mean, yeah, it's been a set. Soy.
It was a wild one. I mean, coming into this match, Old Dominion, we've seen them a little bit in the previous invitational for that Mid-Atlantic Conference, but they certainly didn't look as strong as they are playing right now. They're playing, I think, with another level of they have found that next gear just overall. Germ did fantastic through those first 2 sets, just mitigating so much damage and taking so many stocks for himself, and then at the end there, I mean, having that snake overall is a matchup that is really kind of unique to a lot of characters and can be very difficult to deal with. And when you're dealing with a player like Seth, who was playing with such confidence in that last set, to shut him down so quickly, very good sign for Old Dominion overall. And it's a well-earned spot for them in that grand final in this bracket.
Absolutely. It's been a great time. We're going to jump over to an intermission, and then we'll get back to you guys on the way schedule is going to work out, because there's some a bit outliers here and some time requests off for some people. So we will hop back to you guys real soon. Welcome back, everybody, to the CECC Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Last Chance Qualifier. We just saw Old Dominion take it over Northwood University 5-0. Quite the set. We got quite a lot of representation, at least from Northwood's side. But, Old Dominion had enough potential with their two players to kind of take care of it. So we didn't even get to see the third player come out this set. But since they'll be moving on to the finals, I'm sure we'll be seeing more of them later today. But as I am joined here by Soy, we'll actually be getting an interview with at least Germ and maybe more of the team as well. So please join me in welcoming ODU Esports. Hey, everybody. How you guys doing?
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having us.
That's great. It's great. How do you guys feel about the kind of LCQ top 8 bracket as a whole? Are there any teams that you guys are kind of more scared of, or is there sort of an expectation on yourselves on how far you guys expect to go?
It's more of like an expectation on us. We're kind of creating that for ourselves, but I think it's more of like a nerves thing, trying to like take it a bit more serious, kind of calm down. We're not too worried about the other teams when it comes to like counterpicking and all that.
We have a relatively deep character pool here, so
Yeah, we've seen a little bit of your character pool in the past, and you guys have. I mean, your characters kind of cover a lot of different matchups. Are you guys a more experienced team, or is it just kind of go with the flow? What's kind of the pregame homework look like for you guys?
in terms of homework, it's more like we go and find who's on our opponent's team. And if you're familiar with smashdata.gg, that always helps when trying to figure out who's who. And anyone who's like at least a little bit relevant in the community will have a page on Smash Data, albeit if it's updated or not, maybe a question, but it's always a relatively good way to find information on your opponents. And going into these games, we have a very flexible potential for leads. So we could have like one of even not just us here, but our subs even could potentially lead, given the matchup is something that they're very comfortable in, which is always nice to have in a crew battle league.
Yeah, you guys are, well, for the past 2 games, you've won in back-to-back 5-stock victories. What's the key for you guys heading into this grand finals?
That's a bit of a tough one. I think, I don't know, do we have like a game plan? I think we don't really have like anything.
We just want to win.
Yeah, we just want to win. That's the main goal, of course. But I don't know, we're just going to play it by ear, see how we feel, see who wants to start, see who's more comfortable with starting, depending on the characters or the players that we may find out through ourselves, or whether it be like, I don't know, I guess like smashdata.gg.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, we'll see.
Well, I think that'll be it for us. Congratulations on your victory. Germ put in a lot of work with the Villager, and also we had to see get nicked on Snake as well. We haven't seen your third player just yet, so I'm hoping to see more of that later on, probably in the grand finals. We'll see how that all works out. But congratulations on your guys' victory, and we'll be seeing you guys back on stream not too long from now. Until then, take care.
All right, thank you so much.
You.
Thanks for having us.
All right, that brings us here now. So our next set is actually going to end up being CU Boulder versus Adelphi, but their match is going to be played at 7 p.m. Eastern. So you have about 30 minutes of a break before we hop into our next set. I'm going to try and see if I can grab myself some food before I pass out. But hopefully you all will also be sticking around for the rest of this tournament because it's only heating up. We're going to take care of the other side of the bracket, featuring teams like CU Boulder, Adelphi, as mentioned before, and OSU BGC as well. So quite a lot of matches on the other side of the bracket, and they're going to rope their way all the way up to grand finals to play up against Old Dominion. So stay tuned for all the action. But until then, take care of yourselves. Take care of yourselves. We'll be seeing you guys shortly. Welcome back, everybody, to the CECC 2022 Smash Bros. Ultimate Last Chance Qualifier. We already got one half of our top 8 bracket here taken care of in the earlier section of the stream, the earlier part of the stream. And now we're finally getting around to the second half. So teams we'll be dealing here are CU Boulder and Adelphi up first. How are you feeling about the way brackets laid up? So, and who do we have coming after?
Well, this one should be an interesting one. Colorado versus Adelphi. This one should be a fun one. The winner of this one goes on to play Ohio State. The Buckeye Gaming Club should be an interesting one at that. That's a huge club there and in that kind of Middle East portion of the country. So that's a big battle for whoever the winner is of this CU Boulder versus Adelphi matchup. And meanwhile, the winner of that next set ends up going to grand finals where we get to see Old Dominion again. And Old Dominion, they look fantastic the way they are able to get back-to-back 5 stock victories, not only against Tennessee, but then against the Northwood team that we thought was looking very confident headed into that semifinal. So really the bracket today, super interesting, and I'm curious to see how the rest of it pans out.
Yeah, I'm hoping all the teams are set up. We did have a bit of a break in scheduling just because of certain team requests and whatnot. So I hope everything is all good on everyone's front there. Don't quite remember who we had up coming first, but I'm sure we'll be hopping into game pretty soon. Here it is. All right, Terry and Steve. That's right. I do remember Steve because the tag was low tier Steve. So yeah, starting off here on PS2, this is going to be a weird matchup because this is going to be a matchup where Terry has to get in on Steve, right? Steve always wants to sit back and mine up until he has diamonds, and then he's able to just kind of run a train through the game, and he'll be fine. But problem with that, for at least Terry's side of the game plan, wow, what a great spike. Nair into downer, sent him straight down the blast zone. Definitely was not expecting that, but problem here, at least that's what I was thinking, was that Steve naturally does have disjoints and have a lot of different things to throw out that'll keep Terry away. Big thing about Terry is that he doesn't have a whole lot of range, doesn't have any disjoints, he just has to really, really get in there. So if Steve has things like, his jab with the sword, or he can forward tilt by walking forward, whatever, right? The aerials with things like the pickaxe and the axe going upwards, it's a lot of annoyances for Terry to deal with, but so far it seems like he's doing a pretty good job.
I can't believe that down smash didn't connect. Did you see? I think that was forward tilt that he threw out. Actually got the foot that would have been hit by down smash above the down smash of the lava.
Oh.
Either way, it just doesn't matter. Low tier Steve already on his last stock. Carlish, these few conversions he gets are just turning into so much percentage, and that's the name of the game for a character like Terry. Just one interaction, quick 31%, and he is finding these ways to take these stocks off the board very quickly. Low tier Steve has got to be able to play, at least a little bit more careful, especially at these high percents.
Right. That second stock honestly should not have been a kill. I think low tier Steve was not ready with the DI against the power dunk. That didn't even have kill spark on it. That was not at a kill percent. I was thinking, power dunk, it's fine. He'll make it out and we'll reset neutral, whatever. But then it killed. And I was brain blasted. But now we have Terry here with go. Double down tilt, tries to go for a grab. I think we're expecting a Buster Wolf pretty soon. There it is. It's going to whip, though, especially against Miney. I could definitely see why you want to move that. I'll just get you in right there. Wow. The shoulder bash, the shoulder tackle from the dash attack. Again, unfortunate DI. And Carlish is going to establish a fantastic lead here for CU Boulder over Adelphi with 3 stocks. Not a single one lost on Carlish's end. Low tier Steve is going to go down up and take a stock, and that is amazing for CU Boulder. Great Terry play. I really like the way he was throwing a lot of pressure with aerials, and I do feel like Steve has the tools to match Terry when he's doing that. But we just didn't see a lot of that from low tier Steve. We didn't see a lot of up tilts because you can walk around with up tilt too, or you can have like falling up tilts and a lot of things just to kind of cover that aerial range, the airspace around you, right? Considering that Terry doesn't have any disjoints at all, there's not really any risk to doing so. Wow, that parry down smash second hit actually managed to hit somehow. It wasn't even the second hit that hit, but that power dunk was not supposed to kill. That somehow ended up, finishing the job, but that really wasn't supposed to be it. And same thing here with the shoulder tackle. That also should not have killed. And it did. So DI was definitely playing a big role here for both of those very important stocks that Carlish is able to take off low tier Steve. Wow, that seems like a scary matchup to me, coming in, like looking at it from a Terry Steve perspective, but Carlish handled it perfectly. So
I think that aggression that you mentioned played a huge factor. The fact that, Terry thrives off of the ability of converting one hit into another into a ton of percent. And Terry can kill relatively easily too, especially with all that raw kill power in his kit. And in this case in particular, like you said, probably shouldn't have killed on a couple of those moves, but you catch someone slipping on their DI, that's what happens. You get hit by something strong. That dash attack can be a bit deceptive at times in terms of the amount of knockback it has. And I think, that the fact that DI was a little bit off. He's just trying to buy himself space. Like you said, Steve wants to be able to take his own space, wants to be able to, get those materials, get that better equipment online, but he never had the chance to because there was constantly a Terry in his face throwing out things like forward tilt, using the side B to approach over top of things like the minecart. We didn't see any kind of mix up on angles either. And he just never had the time to quickly adapt his game plan. And because of that, they're down 3 stocks and down to their last 2 players here.
Remember, this is best of 1 with only 3 players. The significance of 3 stocking a player is absolutely massive. The lead that CU Boulder has here over Adelphi is insane. It's going to be very, very difficult to overcome, especially if Carlish keeps up the destruction here. So now it's going to be up against the Dark Pit player, Chet, to kind of neutralize the threat here. Maybe use some of those disjoints. We all know, the fighting characters really don't like these disjoints, right? And they're a bit easier and to edge guard as well, as we're seeing here. Terry struggling to making back, but looks like Chet drops the Dark Pit pressure for a bit and opts to go for an arrow instead, allowing Terry to recover. Nice forward throw off stage. What's the option going to be here? Where's the downer spike? Not going to get it. Instead we have a forward tilt. Nope, cancel confirm. Instead opts for a down throw with follow up. There's the crack shoot.
Carlish is doing such a good job. He ate a ton of percent defensively, but my goodness, the openings that he finds here, even on that last recovery sequence, the fade, the drop down to not only avoid the arrow, but then the falling forward air as well, to get around that was just so well done. And even here, patience, realizing, hey, he's got to commit to an edge guard option, and I can then kind of weave around that. So smart, and reads the roll as well there. This is a dangerous spot here for Chet.
Yeah, that was so scary. Wow, look at that shield pressure, finishing up with a power geyser. My goodness. But yeah, that forward tilt into power geyser is generally a confirm on its own anyway. So I'm not sure if it was a bit of like input mashing or if it was actually a roll read, but either way, the Buster Wolf worked out, which is pretty funny because I saw the forward tilt whiff and I was like, oh, okay, no Buster Wolf. He still went for the Buster Wolf anyway, and it's still connected. I was like, wow. he is pressing those buttons right now. But we get a stock take fine with a down smash from Chet's end, trying to even this up a little bit. But man, as we know, Terry is so good at converting damage off these stray hits, right? Down tilt, forward tilt, crack shoot, right? Big damage right there. Down tilt, forward tilt, Buster Wolf. If you got go, it's massive, right? Jab, powered up. Double down tilt. What am I looking for? Burn knuckle, that's right. A lot of shield pressure, a lot of damage. I love the shield break setup with the power geyser. That was awesome. Dash attack's gonna lose to the side B. That does have armor on it, but we're still gonna take some percent. 143 here on Chet. This would be a big punish. Nice down smash to catch the end frames of that down B. You can't hit on the left or right sides of the down B when it's still active, but as it was going down, Carlish had the timing down perfectly. What a down smash, send him straight flying. It still has 2 stocks remaining. Yeah. This is the first player of CU Boulder, right, with 2 stocks up against now the last player of Adelphi.
Yeah, and Carlish is just continuing his role here, right? And it's that smart play too. I think that was really a key here in this second matchup. Not only is he at a huge disadvantage right off the bat early on in that set in particular, but he finds a way to get back, and then he finds a way to take the stock there. He calls, I believe, a jump or just a fade back down with the up B to end up taking the stock. You're seeing in the replay here, just reads the direction that he's fading back to with an up B. Such an aggressive option, catches his opponent off guard, and then later on he's just able to, like we said, just find those few openings, rack up percent, and even if certain connections aren't being made, things like that up tilt, just whiffing, he's still able to find the powerful moves at those relatively, mid-high percents that are going to put Chet in disadvantage anyway. And it forces just tough decision after tough decision after tough decision. And now you're on your last legs here for Adelphi University, and it's all on this me brawler here to take 9 stocks.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we've got a name on this me brawler. Is this oh, they might need to reset. That Terry was not supposed to throw out a
I completely forgot he did drop one last game.
I think they're gonna reset this match because he threw out a power wave when it wasn't supposed to, because he's supposed to SD and then actually play the game. So he was a little trigger happy there. Too quick to the button, but we're gonna get a reset here, and we'll hopefully get the actual game after this.
He's just feeling it from the last 2 games. He's got all that momentum. He's feeling the energy, right? This Terry is moving. It is able to take so many stocks. He was just ready to go. He's ready to try and put Colorado into that next round. But me brawler, I mean, without knowing what move set going in, that's something that Carlos is going to have to kind of adapt to on the fly.
Yeah, I don't believe there is a competitive standard on what you're supposed to do. So we have Davian as the me brawler player here. So we're going to have our first SD. And now, after we reset to neutral, maybe a taunt, we're good to go. And the game's begun. Already a neutral air, but no confirm after neutral. So you can actually cancel your aerials into special moves as well. So a lot of Terrys will do things like neutral air, burn knuckle, if they can happen to land it. But sometimes you opt to stick with your normals and don't have to go for your specials. It's all gameplay strategy mix up.
So far, the Davian hasn't really showed off any of his special moves quite yet, just kind of keeping those in his back pocket.
There's the counter.
Yep, down B, that's a counter. And that's going to be noteworthy later on in this set, but right now he's pushed to the boards, and oh my goodness, that nearly found a way to take the stock. Another counter thrown out, but nothing landing quite yet. He is not shy about that B button right now.
Ooh, yeah. So we saw the shot put for neutral B. We have the flaming dive kick as your side B. Nice, there's the shot put. And then finally up B is kind of the uppercut combo right there. But as I don't know why he pressed it there. Maybe he was looking for an anti-air opportunity, but it's very risky. And he got up smash punished for it. We have go on deck here from Carlos as well. Runs up into an up smash. And that's going to be a stock taken from Davian, but this is still going to be solid damage. I did not know you could do forward tilt power wave and actually have that connect. That's crazy. Down tilt, forward tilt power wave actually worked out. There's a punish there. Down tilt burn knuckle. Big damage here. This is exactly what Carlos wants. We could be seeing one player sweep all 3 players of an opposing team here. I'm not sure. It's definitely in the realm of possibility, though.
I mean, at 126, it feels like Davian's second stock here is working on borrowed time. He's got to find a way to get something here on this stock, at least get more damage. But he's not going to have the chance. The power dunk finds him, and just like that, Davian is on the last stock and the last hope here for Adelphi Esports.
Ooh, nice counter. And it's going to throw him out backwards. The shot put almost connecting there. That is scary. Good read on the roll. Get up. This could be Davian's time. Oh, whiffs another up, and we see him pretty happy with that. Look at all that shield damage the power guys are almost broken shield. There's the crack shoot. We do have rage on deck for Terry, but one big move here. Wow, that counter didn't connect against those down tilts. There's the shot put. There it is, and that's going to take it. Davian will be finally able to conquer Carlos and move forward with only 1 stock remaining.
Just enough in the tank to keep the hopes alive for Adelphi, but still a lot of work to be done. 6 stocks still remain, and the way Colorado's playing it, I mean, Carlos has got to be feeling good about the work he just put in. 8 out of 9 total stocks, and I mean, he was still threatening on that last one too. Terry only needs a couple of those hits to get you up to kill percentage, so I mean, a great effort there, but we'll see what Davian has in his bag of tricks here for the remaining 2 players for Colorado.
Yeah, this is a very difficult position to be in, considering the stock disadvantages is quite numerable, right? It's a 5 stock difference. So honestly, I think it's very possible that we get another 5-0, considering right now we're at 6-1. So we could have Davian take, 1 stock here from the next player coming up from CU Boulder. And then CU Boulder finally, again, the war of attrition is very much in their favor. take the final stock away from Davian, and that'll be a 5-0, right? We'll see. I'm not trying to call it too early just yet, but I do think it'd be funny if we had only 5-0s in this bracket, especially since we have actually had that thus far, if I'm not mistaken. Who knows? Who knows what'll happen?
Ooh.
We have a Sheik here. Ooh,
This is
very combo heavy character, very fast, but not always the greatest at confirming kills.
This is interesting too, because this is Katsuji, and I've seen Katsuji before, and he mostly goes Luigi. So to see the Sheik here, still combo centric, but very different. I think about in terms of how you go about getting those combos.
True.
And I feel like Sheik is even more risky just because they'll die at an earlier percent to a character like Me Brawler. But we'll have to see here, as Katsuji in theory has got some room to work with. They only need to find a way to take one against this Me Brawler to secure themselves a spot in that semifinal.
Yeah, as we kind of saw in the previous matchup too, where Terry just really wants to be in the opponent's face. Both these characters really do, right? Brawler and Terry did. Similar thing with Brawler and Sheik, but wow, what an incredibly hard read on the Sheik up B there. Just punched him straight with the forward smash, and Sheik is gone. That is already one stock down here, so maybe our prediction could be correct. We could be looking at a 5-0 and see if Katsuji can bring it back to close out this stock. Second hit, a forward smash. There's the side B to catch the up B. Now we have the side B recovery. Nice Needles, tries to get the bouncing fish, doesn't quite get it, but the recovery isn't going to be able to make it back, and that's going to be a 5-0 victory for CU Boulder over Adelphi Esports. The prophecy continues.
That was, that was a quick game to get to that 5-0 scoreline. Combo Stradamus here. That was look, I don't even know what to say, because what a hard read that forward smash was from Davian, and yet all of a sudden it's like Katsuji just flipped a switch and said, "Okay, all right, that was good. Now it's my turn." And from that point on, the second that either of these two were in disadvantage, they just got punished so hard. I feel like, and that's, it's a tough game to play, right? We knew Davian coming in was going to be tasked with, a near impossible task. Taking 6 stocks is it's possible, but it's not probable when you've only got one to work with and you don't know what you're going to be going up against. But still, shout out to Davian for getting something on the board. Unfortunately, it was just a little too late, and a well-earned victory for the side of Colorado here.
Yeah, see you there. Terry player Carlish opening up there, just absolutely tearing through stocks. What he ended up taking, like 8 stocks, I think, on his own, and all Katsuji had to take was that last final one. So yeah, I expect the game to be fast. There's only 1 stock left. That is, it's just one mistake, really, one significant mistake, and they're already losing a bunch of percent, and there's just not much that they have in terms of resources to fall back on. The very, very difficult position to be in. And Davian, they still played their heart out. They played well. That was a great read on the up B with the forward smash to secure that first kill and to secure the prophecy of 5-0s. But I think we'll be playing up against, if I remember correctly, Ohio State University Buckeye Gaming Club is going to be pulled up against CU Boulder up next. But before that, we're going to drop in for a short intermission, take a short break. You guys don't go anywhere. We will be back with you shortly. All right, welcome back, everyone. Here we are at the CECC 2022 Smash Bros. Last Chance Qualifier for the upcoming finals event in Atlanta, May 7th and 8th, so just 2 weeks from now. But as we just saw on stream earlier, we had CU Boulder take it 5-0 over Adelphi with a very strong opening start with Carlish as a tearing through 8 stocks. Quite a lot of work, but we're hopping into our next match here right away up against Ohio State University's Buckeye Gaming Club. So from there, we have CH Crane as Ice Climber. So we have N from CU Boulder on Robin. So I think this is a bit of an odd matchup just because a lot of Robin strings do require you to be a bit taller and a bit heavier, or at least just a bit bigger in general to get hit by a lot of the things to link really easily. And like you'll get clipped by things like projectiles and whatnot. So Ice Climbers do have the bit of like the size difference that would make Robin's matchup a lot harder to play. But considering that, you know, these characters are still very difficult to play and really get one going. Meanwhile, Levin Sword and, you know, Arcfire are just kind of readily available off of their respective cooldowns. I can still see Robin being in a good position to take this, especially if she split them up, as she has now. Now we got Sopo off the left side of the stage, recovery significantly gimped. Nice Arcfire, let's trap, and there's going to be 11 Sword Arrow to take that first off.
Yeah, and I've seen N in the past before too, and the one thing I remember about N's playstyle, he does such a good job of managing not only the books and spells, but also managing whenever they are about to run out, being able to pick them up and use them as an item. And he used that to great effect in that first stock to help separate the Ice Climbers, at least for that first stock. But CH Crane able to answer right back, and CH Crane's got a pretty solid combo game too to quickly take the lead back. But N also, with that Levin Sword online, can also put up a ton of damage very quickly, and so it's very kind of ping pong between these two. Back and forth goes the percent. Just whoever lands that first hit can really do so much work.
I thought that interaction was super cheeky where Robin throws the now destroyed Levin Sword, right, as an item, forcing some sort of reaction, probably an air dodge, and that's exactly what we got from CH Crane. And right after the air dodge, throws out a fully charged Thoron and was able to land at least on both characters, rather, but it killed Nana. It kept Popo alive as Sopa. I thought that interaction was really, really funny. There's some cheese that you can pull off with the projectiles Robin has to offer, but it never seems like CH Crane is too far behind N. Even though N seems to build this pretty early percent lead and takes the stock relatively earlier, CH Crane comes back almost right away and is able to take that next stock. But that would, you know, not exactly how I want to finish out games. But now we're seeing a bunch of percent being built here from CH Crane. A lot of side B, couple of up air strings too. N wants to get some of that percent back. We're going to see the Nosferatu. The Arcfires get canceled out by the Ice Climbers neutral B. The L Thunder is going to be jumped over. Ooh, nice catch at ledge with the ice. Robin's going to have to recover. What's the ledge trap option be? There's that forward smash. The Levin Sword back here is going to hit both. The side B to recover. Hold that ledge option. Back throw on Popo. Banana still around to help out. This is scary. We're approaching the end of this first game here. There is the confirm into up smash with Levin Sword, and that's going to take out Popo before Nana, actually. Surprisingly, one of the few stocks that Popo has taken more damage than Nana. It tends to be the other way around, but Popo is going to fall, and N is going to build a one stock lead here for CU Boulder over OSC.
What a huge stock that was from N. And I think really the only key there, I mean, for CH Crane, it felt like he had a decent idea, right? N is on the ledge. He's got to make it back to stage somehow. So he uses that side B to try and just cover a bunch of options. Tries to cover the roll in, tries to cover, you know, a get up attack, tries to cover jump. But it ends up being the kind of drop from ledge, jump back side B. And the side B goes over top of where the Ice Climbers are. That side B is not going to clash with it. It's not going to interact with it because it comes down at that angle. It ends up catching them and setting them up perfectly for that up smash. That was so well done by N off of seemingly a tiny mistake. That's a micro mistake that he's able to capitalize off the back of and get that first game. And what a huge stock it was. But I mean, it's only a one stock victory. It is easily comebackable. And now if you're Ohio State, you have that ability to try and counterpick this Robin.
Yep. Robin is a slower character for sure. And of course, the resource management is a point of contention. Most people aren't necessarily all that worried about Robin's kind of limited resources. You use them as you do, and they'll come back eventually, right? It's not the worst thing in the world. The only thing is at least knowing when they're online so you don't accidentally misinput something that won't come out, because that's always annoying. You don't get caught. But, it's like not that fundamentally difficult to understand or to play around. So you really just have to utilize Robin's slower moves, right, and slower speed. You just have to kind of take advantage of the fact that they need a little bit more time to get those bigger, heavier moves out, right? Especially Levin's sword and all those aerials, right? The spells, they're reactable, right? If you're at neutral not doing anything, right, you haven't committed to anything, you can probably react to a spell activation. You can just jump it, shield it, whatever. But if you're doing things, right, you're trying to play around neutral, you're jumping around them, you're committing to something, they can catch you with the read Nosferatu. They can catch a jump, Arcfire, right? And from there, that's when they get their momentum built. You can get Arcfire laddered off the top, right? Arcfire into like 11 sword up air, and that can actually kill you, right? You don't want to get laddered if you're up against the Robin. So yeah, the goal really here from Ohio is going to be get rid of this Robin as soon as possible, because they play pretty well off momentum. Good Robins are always something to be worried about, something to fear, because they are very, very scary.
And on top of that, too, the fact that N was able to survive at such a high percent, right, to be able to hold on to that stock is massive, because now they start this next game with, while only at 1 stock, they started back at 0 with full resources available to them. So we'll have to see how they do here. Devil King coming in second for Ohio State on the Rob, and I feel like this is a very good counter pick. You have that ability to reflect. Gyro, I think, in general, can counteract a lot of the projectiles, or at least clash with a lot of them. So you can't necessarily take all that space that N was really opting for early on in game 1.
Right. Rob is definitely in a better position to kind of box with that mid range that Robin loves to play in. But another thing about Rob you have to do consider in this matchup is his bigger size, right? He's going to be getting clipped by a lot of Levin sword aerials, as we have just seen so far, up to 73% at that. So now's the time for Devil King to start, pulling all stops and actually take this stock without getting a stock taken on his own end, because otherwise that's going to be a bigger lead for CU Boulder that OSU does not want to be dealing with. Rob is a fundamentally very solid character all around too, so that's a good character you want for future matchups, considering how well good of a character he is. But wow, Levin sword down smash actually going to clip through the stage of Battlefield. Looks like Rob just puts his arms up a little bit too high, to actually get caught and will die for it. But look at all this shield damage now with the up tilt and the up airs. Robin could not find a way out of that, but there is the falling Arcfire into Nosferatu. Now we're even on percent. What a Thoron! Throws the book too with Arcfire for extra mileage and coverage. There's another Arcfire 11 sword back air. 100% here on Rob. It's going to come back from the other side. We have Arcfire at ledge. Ooh, they lost their Legend of Invincibility. Arcfire, the spacing was just a little bit off. But look at how much N has healed. That Nosferatu is doing a bunch of work. On top of that, barely took any damage too, but now Devil King is getting a couple more hits in. Nice down smash. Tries to go for a down. We're going to have a Rising Fair off ledge from N, and Robin is back in the game. Levin sword is still online, throwing some thunders to space. Arcfire trying to catch ledge. Levin sword down smash trying to catch that ledge, but finally the Nair will take it. 141% here. Look at that Arcfire!
Oh,
and
does so much work. That side B does so much work along the ledge on this bigger body of Rob, and there's just no clean answer along the ledge for Devil King, right? That side B covers so many different options, and even here, the ledge game, again, where do you go if you're this Rob?
My goodness! N is on a roll right now. These Arcfire into Nosferatu setups keep N in the game. The sustainability is not something you have to deal with in most characters in Smash Bros. Right? Most characters aren't finding some sort of way to heal. Right? Sustain is not really a problem, but Robin is one of the few characters that does have something that lets keep them in the game a little bit longer. Now they've lapped in percent yet again. Look at that Levin sword up air, and that is a 3 stock from N when N only had 1 stock remaining.
And what seemed like a decent counter pick gets completely flipped on its head, and N with a solid 3 stock there against Devil King has given Colorado now a massive lead and put the Buckeye Gaming Club on their last player. What a play from N. I mean, again, it seems like a decent idea, right? Rob's got the ability to kind of box. He's got that reflector as well on the side B, and you only have to take 1 stock. And yet, N did such a good job of keeping Devil King to the corner. How many times did Devil King have to re-grab the ledge? And that is so scary against a character like Robin, who's got so many ledge trap options, especially when that side B. I want to see a statistic of how much percent that move did alone, because it felt like even if it didn't hit, it just forced Devil King away time and time again.
Yeah, Arcfire is crazy pressures. You can think of it like Nest PK Fire, but the thing about Arcfire is that because of the way it's angled against the ground, it will always come out. So it still has lasting hitboxes, right? If Nest's PK Fire isn't hitting anything, it will just fade into existence, right? If it doesn't hit your shield, doesn't hit a character, it's gone. But with Robin's Arcfire, because of its lasting hitbox on the ground, it makes ledge trapping so much better, right? Because you can have a delayed get up that can still get caught by an Arcfire. So definitely a great thing for N to have. But now it looks like we're gonna have a Terry coming up from OSU, if I'm not mistaken. So that makes, I think we've seen a Terry on almost every team so far, if not every team.
Including Colorado.
Including Colorado, right. Last game we had seen Carlish put in great work for Colorado side. So now we have N coming out and, trying to rep the same idea here. That, Carlish is great, but I'm on this team too, right? Check out what I could do. Oh, we got a Sephiroth.
Very different.
That's not a Terry. Okay. Looks like we had some mishaps in the back ends of what we got here for stream production, but no worries. Sephiroth versus Rob still be very entertaining to watch. I don't know how to feel about this matchup, just because I feel like the mid range that Robin excels in is also something that Sephiroth wants, so perfectly, so exactly. I honestly don't know. I think it really depends on the Arcfire and the Thunder usage here. But Sephiroth is, with things like forward tilt, with things like his side B, even like down tilt. Oh, nice. I love that cross-up B. But he's now getting caught by these 11 sword nairs. Wow. Quickie Crisp is taking a lot of damage.
That's a quick 78, and it's still going up here. Levin Sword, the last chance of it. That was the last swing N had before that Levin Sword goes away, and it catches. And just like that, Quickie Crisp loses his first stock, and N is only at 10% still, so he is still cooking with gas at this point. Then right now, although he's stuck on the ledge, look how quickly he gets back to 52%. And for Quickie Crisp right now, he's got to find an answer and find it quickly.
Right, this is, you're already letting Robin build so much momentum. It's just so scary. Oh, I love how he used the forward air wall stick to stay away from the Arcfire at ledge, because that will catch your hand. That was great usage of Sephiroth's tools and unique mechanics, but still got to find some way to get in offensively, right? Like, trying to play around the defense is one thing. Now, he's got Wing on deck. Robin, let's not forget, she also has Nosferatu, so if she ever gets too far behind a percent, she can always bring that back to a favorable level. Oh my god, that Arcfire positioning was perfect into the run-up. Levin Sword forward smash, and that is another stock down. She rolls past the Sephiroth up smash, and Sephiroth's gonna have the neutral beat in the wrong direction. Look at this string. Oh my god, he bounced off the Levin Sword drop. Tries to up B into the book. And then gets caught by more spells afterwards. Oh my goodness, it's an onslaught. A one-man army here from N, throwing out everything. Oh, that entire last sequence was incredible. There's so many things flying out from N, and all of them managed to hit back to back to back to back. Quickie Crisp could not play the game, and N is going to single-handedly wipe out all 9 stocks by themselves. Oh man, we see the sweep. This sweep. This is going to be what, a 7-0 game. The first non-5-0, and it was a one-player sweep. It wasn't a tight set, wasn't close down to the wire, maybe a 1-0, 2-0. No. 7-0 sweep by one player. Oh my goodness.
That was so well done. And on top of that too, I think you could sense a little bit of the desperation on the opposite side for the Buckeyes, right? The Sephiroth just kept, he would use up B in neutral to try and break through, because it almost like, it's reminiscent to me of, like Fox or Falco side B, right? You use that sometimes to just close the gap or close the distance. And if it hits, it hits. And maybe you can combo off the back of it. And it felt like he did that a couple of times in neutral. And against that wall of projectiles that N put up, he just ate that alive. It may have hit once or twice in the first, minute of the game, but afterward, it just immediately put Quickie Crisp on the back foot. And then the ledge trap game just took over. You saw how long Quickie Crisp could stall for with things like the forward air into the wall, and yet it wasn't enough time. It just gave N even more agency along the ledge. That was so well done, so smartly played by N, and a well-deserved victory to put them in grand finals.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, it looks like CU Boulder has just an absolutely incredible team, right? From the two players that we've seen them, I think we've seen all three players come out, right? Yeah, we have. Or at least for like the lineups. I don't know if you can actually change lineups from one game to another, but we have seen all three players come out. One of them hasn't had a lot of time to shine. The Sheik player, Katsuji, I believe the tag was. They only had to deal with one stock, and that was a great stock that they took. That's all they had to do so far. So we haven't seen too much of them, right? But we've seen quite a bit of Ed and quite a bit of Carlish. And they both just bring the pain train. They're just tearing through players left and right. No remorse, no fear, no hesitation. They're in it all the way. And now they're building themselves up here. Now they've made it to the finals up against Old Dominion, who we also saw as a pretty dominant team. So now, an unstoppable unstoppable force meets an immovable rock kind of type vibes here, right? Where, both these teams are coming on as some of the strongest that we've seen so far, and they're going to butt right into each other. Well, we're going to see what happens. I am super, super excited. I hope these teams are all set and good to go pretty soon. I'm not quite sure on the time scale, but I think we're on schedule. But I think before we head into the next super exciting match, our actual true finals here for the last chance qualifier to Atlanta, we're going to take a quick break. This will be our last. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. You really don't want to miss this. This is where everything's going to go down. We'll see you guys soon. Welcome back, everybody. This is it. We've made it to the finals of the last chance qualifier here to go to Atlanta for CECC 2022 in 2 weeks. One of these two teams is going to walk away as the victor, securing their spot for Atlanta, where the actual finals of the circuit will be played out. It is super thrilling, super exciting. We've seen both these teams perform today on the LCQ stream so far, and they've both put on great shows for us. So they're finally going to meet up against one another. It's going to be super exciting. We have Old Dominion up against CU Boulder, and both these teams have just unstoppable players. So I'm really pumped to see where things go.
Yeah, no, these two teams, from what we've seen, just solid victories throughout the day. Old Dominion, they beat Tennessee via 5 stocks. Then they took down Northwood via 5 stocks. And here they are in grand finals. But Colorado, who through the last 2 matches has looked on fire. Their players have just come ready to play today. Carlish in particular, N in that last set, taking all 9 stocks without losing all of his 3 was really well done. Before our first match between these two, looks like we're going to have Germ versus Endure. We haven't seen Endure yet, but he plays Ike. And this one is a matchup we haven't seen yet today. The Ikes have been few and far between, but the Villagers have been on point so far.
We're going to be hopping in here. We have Battlefield lead, Ike, Villager. So we've seen Germ's Villager tear through players beforehand. We saw Old Dominion playing, I believe, against Northwood. So a lot of history here, and this is going to be Endure's first appearance on screen that I'm aware of, at least for this LCQ bracket. Air dodge in to the bowling ball, almost takes him out, but we're finally getting a bit of Ike thing. So Ike has a bit more of a linear game plan, right? His entire neutral game is kind of based around his neutral air. All of his confirms come off his neutral air. His main damage is neutral air. His kill confirms are neutral air. Everything is going to be off his neutral air. So, oh wow, we get the neutral air kind of ladders up on Battlefield, but a little bit tough. It's going to be tougher to land all these things on Villager, just being the smaller body. Meanwhile, Villager doesn't have any problem walling Ike out, again, who has no range. He's a bit slower. He's heavier. He's taller. This matchup is a bit of a struggle, but if Ike gets the big hits in, I mean the really big hits, right? Like a forward smash read or something, that Villager's definitely dead. Maybe a couple counters here and there. What a dash attack! Tearing right through that Lloyd rocket with no hesitation, and also taking out the one who summoned it. The Villager's also gone.
You were talking about the big hits, and that dash attack is deceptively strong, right? And that move sneaking underneath, but it covers pretty high at the full extension, right? So to not only get through that Lloyd rocket, but also catch the Villager was really well done by Endure.
That is right. Ooh, nice forward air to cast the side B. We're keeping things even, but I was loving some of those strings, right? We saw Ike down throw, forward air onto, sorry, down throw, up air, forward air. Utilizing that Battlefield platform. Battlefield is doing a lot of work for Ike right now. Allows him to maneuver around a lot of Villagers' kind of projectiles. It effectively creates 3 planes of height. So if Villagers throwing out projectiles on one plane, he can just kind of change it, change the verticality to help approach, and it really helps on this match. But on top of that, the laddering allowed by his combos on Battlefield is super helpful for his damage output. This is a pretty great pick for Ike here, but Villager can still utilize the space given. It's just going to be a little bit tougher to keep Ike out because he has so many opportunities to find a way in.
Ooh, that grab, though, good early side B from Endure as well to get back to that platform. Instead, you saw that Germ was covering the approach back to ledge, but the dash attack again, catching Germ kind of drifting away, and all of a sudden, Germ is on his last stock.
Yeah, this could be time for maybe a significant lead if Endure can pull off some crazy plays, or this is time for Germ to equalize the damage being done and maybe turn it around into Old Dominion's favor. We'll have to see. We're seeing decent damage coming out from Endure so far, but nothing too big because he does have to play a little bit more scared considering the higher percent. It's kind of playing the slower game where because they have percent, because they have a stock lead, they kind of want to utilize it, but playing the game too slow allows for Villager to really open up their game plan and ultimately ends up being a bit counterintuitive. So we'll see if Endure can pick up on that or if the stock will have to go before momentum will reset properly.
Yeah, a very difficult balance that Endure has to kind of manage because Germ right now has been just chipping away at this stock. That forward smash, though, A little bit risky, but there's a good setup, and that back throw has done so much work for Germ. Very well done. Has found a way to set that up a couple of times today. And there, it gets Endure to the last stock here, and only 28%. Now, Ike can certainly swing the damage pretty fast, but look at the way Germ has evened things back up. So dead even between these two on this last stock.
Yeah, Germ has been at 28% for a very long time now. Endure has not been able to land a single hit for a while. I wonder how this is going to be affecting kind of his own status of tilt, if you will, right? He's been trying to chase down, finally gets a hit, and trying to chase down this little annoying villager, right? Just shooting slingshots, Lloyd rockets, and whatever else at him. He's not able to land a single hit. None of his moves are fast enough when he does get in close. He's often just not close enough to really commit to anything. It's been a bit rough for Endure these about stock and a half or so. Germ really slowed down the pace of the game and didn't allow Endure to get close at all, which is exactly what Ike needs to deal with a character like Villager. We get the forward throw now. We're trying to even out these percents. I would say it's about even considering the kill potential that both characters have, but I don't know. Ike is still a little bit on the losing end here. It's anyone's game though.
130 to 86 in percent. Germ has started to catch on a couple of times to how Endure wants to recover. But Endure hasn't really had the chance to really edge guard Germ. This is the first time he's dipped so low off stage. He'll be able to make it back. And the spike! Wait, off the top, he dies to the down air. What a play from Endure. Colorado has the lead.
Oh my goodness. There's only one reason why that worked, and that worked because the balloons of Villagers up B are you can hit them, and when he's done with them, when you hit the balloons, they apply additional hit stop to your own move, right? So your own move's active hitboxes become slightly longer. So it was slightly extended to go past the invulnerability period of Villager's ledge grab and was actually able to hit it. I thought it was going to be a spike. That wasn't even the spike part of the hitbox. It was set them straight off to the side, like a 45-degree angle, still kill them off the edge of the stage. That was most likely not calculated, but if it was, that was incredible. Either way, it was incredible. What a play. What a play. Using additional hit stop is creates some of the craziest situations in this game, I swear. Stuff like Wario Bike, or like characters that have items that you can throw, right? Like, Robin Book or the Villager, like the tree roots or whatever, right? And of course the balloons, things like Peach's turnips. Like, there's so many crazy things that apply a hit stop. Oh yeah, snake grenades too. That's another big thing. Those are always so fun to watch because you get random hitbox extensions that you're like, how did this hit me? And it's just hilarious. It's hilarious.
That was a wild play. And that was really, again, the first time that Endure had kind of challenged Germ off stage. As Ike, it's hard to challenge. I mean, just against Villager in general, it's hard to challenge that character off stage. They can buy so much time. They've got Lloyd rockets, forward airs. They've got a wall jump they can use as well. So for him to go off stage and find that play, that was really well done. And I don't think Germ was even expecting the down air to hit, so he probably wasn't ready to DI for it. Either way, really well done. But we're seeing here, second player locked in for the side of Old Dominion. And I believe this is Get Nicked On, the snake that we actually saw earlier today going up against Endure. Endure will only have one stock, but he gets to start at 0. We'll see what Get Nicked On can do.
Right. Sorry, I have... So, we're looking at a Snake-Ike matchup here. I think Snake can utilize the fact that Ike's a little bit slower a lot to his advantage, because Ike doesn't really have significant advantages. He just has these really fast exchanges that go in his favor, and then it's reset to neutral, right? It's just a couple hits, and then you're gone. Wow, that down tilt into Bear almost took it. But big thing about Snake is he can get out of extended pressure pretty easily because of his grenades, but because of the fact that Ike doesn't really have extended pressure, and a lot of his pressure is disjointed, right? Things like the Nair and the Fair, doesn't really keep grenade to be that useful. So we're seeing a lot more self damage on Snake's end. But besides that, he can just kind of keep throwing Ike for a loop. He can just keep sending him around. There's not a lot of speed that Ike has to catch up besides his side B, and that can be a little committal sometimes. Just have to kind of watch what the Snake is doing and find the opportunity to find a way in. We saw Get Nicked On take a lot of percent earlier on. Oh my goodness, that was going to be a crazy setup from Get Nicked On, but the height was just a little bit off, and instead Endure was able to utilize that, throwing out a nair of all moves that don't usually kill. But just because the positioning and the percent of both of these players, that nair actually ended up taking it off the top. That is pretty huge for Endure. Now it's a more significant stock lead for CU Boulder over Old Dominion.
And at 159, you got to feel like this stock is working on borrowed time, but we'll see if Endure can get anything off the back of it here. Again, what a play that was. That was such a massive play from Endure. But Get Nicked On, this grab into the up tilt, yeah, that should seal the deal. And Get Nicked On takes down the first player for the side of Colorado here in Grand Finals. But he will still be down a stock as we get ready for the second member. But Endure, again, kind of opportunistic, but sometimes it's better to be lucky than to be skilled. And right there, I feel like that was the opportunity that he found. That up air seemed so clean for a combo for Snake, and yet the nair got the job done. I was even shocked, like you said, that the nair was able to take it. Not a move that you see kill all that often, but I feel like part of it too was the fact that that up air came out. Maybe he's still holding up after that up air, and the DI just didn't go in his favor either way. Endure will take it, and Colorado are still holding on to the lead.
Yeah, this is still a one stock lead, I believe, for Colorado up against the Snake. So I'm curious to see who Colorado wants to send in now. If trying to remember who else they've got, I think we've seen Carlish and N from before as two players that they have to offer on top of Endure. So if that's a pretty stacked lineup. So
yeah. We just got word it's going to be N, the Robin, being locked in for that second member of the side of CU Boulder. And Snake versus Robin is not a matchup I've seen a lot of, so I'm not sure how the grenades interact with all of the specials that Robin has, but I feel like we're in for a lot of projectile warfare in this next match.
Yeah, I do think that it's going to stop a lot of Robin's projectiles in their tracks, except for Thoron. Maybe Arc Thunder as well, but generally I do think the grenade will just kind of stop the projectile. Problem is Grenade's angle that it's sent at isn't consistent. It's consistent. It's not like necessarily on the same plane, same even distribution as Robin's kind of more forward projectiles. On top of that, grenades don't come out as fast. So I think Snake's gonna be looking to box a little bit more and then try to set up across the map with different things like C4s and Nikitas and up smashes, as Snake generally does. But this is one matchup that he won't necessarily have a problem playing a little bit more up close with. The only problem is he has to watch out for Levin Sword a lot. But playing at this mid-range, he doesn't have too much to offer in response. So that's why he has to find a way to either create a lot of space or get in real close.
I'm also interested, too. Kalos is not a stage we've seen yet. And for these two characters, it's very different from, I think, what we've seen in the past. Is N finds the up air there, finding Get Nicked On's drift back down. Very well done to get one off the board, but still with that platform around the ledge, I wonder if N's kind of ledge trap game, if he has to add another wrinkle to it because of it, but so far he's been able to really not worry about it.
Yeah, and we're seeing more Nosferatu come out too, which is going to help a lot with the sustain, considering N is on third stock, high percent, but look at all the damage being unloaded to Get Nicked On right now. We're pretty much even. I don't think N is too worried about Nosferatu anymore. He just wants to close the stock. There's the Arc Fire, run up, Levin Sword up smash, and N is going to walk away with 3 entire stocks, making it a 6-3 in CU Boulder's favor. That's going to be very, very scary for Old Dominion. We'll have to see how they want to respond to Robin, but again, they are on their back foot, right? 3-6, one player to two whole fully functional players, who I assume are going to be N and Carlish. So none of them are any people you want to sleep on. We've seen both of them put out phenomenal plays all around the board. So this is looking very, very scary for Old Dominion, and we're teetering on the edge here. I'm not entirely sure. Is this best of 3? Or are we still going best?
This is still best of 1 for this grand final, but still backs against the wall here for Old Dominion. That last player, from when we saw them in the Mid-Atlantic Invitational, that last player that we have not seen today goes by the tag Polo, and last I checked, he played Wii Fit Trainer, and Wii Fit Trainer we haven't seen yet today, but that is a very, again, odd kind of different matchup where you have that soccer ball to play around with, but almost I want to say that whole lineup for Old Dominion, you've got Villager, Wii Fit, Snake. It's just very kind of, I don't want to say niche, but for lack of a better way of putting it, you've got all these projectiles to worry about, and yet you still have to worry about kind of the boxing power that each of those characters have in their kind of back pocket. And versus N's Robin, it's a whole nother game plan, because N, again, just does such a good job of utilizing not only the spells, but then utilizing the items off the back of it. Even in that last set against the Snake, you saw some counterplay, but it just wasn't enough to get a stock off the board here. So Polo, there he is, the Wii Fit Trainer, trying to find a way to take 6 stocks and trying to book Old Dominion's ticket to Atlanta, but he's got a tall task ahead of him.
Yeah, big mountain to climb here. 2 star players with names N and Carlish. I mean, both these matchups I think are also ones that Wii Fit will kind of struggle in. Wii Fit's a very in and out kind of character. They have a lot of burst damage, especially with deep breathing on board, but they're not very good at consistent pressure, and they don't have the greatest defensive options either. So they want interactions to be kind of fast and quick, and hopefully will go in their favor. Meanwhile, Robin can keep unloading the pressure from a far to mid range, while Terry loves the up close range game. So both these characters are going to be a bit of a struggle for Wii Fit trying to deal with here. Polo has a lot to work with, but so far it's almost 100% of a difference between 2 players right now. It's really, really strongly in N's favor, but this could be the time for Polo to bring it back. We have a lot of instances of commentators curse on this stream so far, and I feel like every time we mention a very significant lead, the other player just happens to get advantage in their favor just for that time. And the moment we start mentioning it, that it switches right back. I don't know what's going on.
That side B nearly took a stock. I don't think I've ever seen the side B take a stock like that. Forward air just enough. The inside, like the hilt hitbox, ends up connecting and taking that stock. But I think one of the things I noticed in particular on that first stock, it was few and far between that Polo had the chance to get deep breathing online. And deep breathing is such a huge part of how Wii Fit gets a ton of that damage on board. And just not having that time in the first place, just, only finding it off of one neutral interaction at high percent, there's just not a lot of options here for Polo to have the time to pull off that move in the first place.
100%. I entirely agree. That is a very significant part of Wii Fit Trainer's kit, and not allowing them to deep breathe is a massive nerf. A massive nerf to the character. Finally, they have it online. They could probably go fishing for a kill sometime soon, but who knows if they can really get in range. There's an earlier setup for Nosferatu I really love watching from N. It was where he up tilted him without Levin Sword on a platform and just waited for him to fall, right? Because after an up tilt, you kind of, especially on the ground, you kind of expect an aerial follow up. But oh, nice down air spike there from Wii Fit. That is one thing you do have to watch for when you're getting edge guarded by Wii Fit, is the down air does send you straight down. But after that non-Levin Sword up tilt, N just waited, and then N got a Nosferatu off and healed a bunch of health. Like it's just there. Sometimes N just has the perfect reason. It's incredible to watch.
The patience too, even in that last sequence, right? Seeing the air dodge come out and just saying, okay, I know that your drift is going to be right over here, and just covers them with that nair. That nair covers a deceptive amount of space too. Just and with the Levin Sword online, I mean, at 94, Polo's on the last stock here for Old Dominion, and it still feels like N is just kind of just barely out of reach of anything that would possibly get this down to last stock, but he's not going to have the chance. The down air takes the stock and books the ticket to Atlanta for CU Boulder.
My goodness, what a down air. That was just right at ledge, catching those hands, sent him straight down. Levin Sword is incredibly powerful. I've seen a lot of good Robin players, right? My region has a lot of good Robin players here in Texas DFW, right? So Robin is not a character I'm a stranger to, especially in my own esports team. But still, every time it amazes me how powerful Levin's sword itself really is. There's so many times you think, okay, like, yeah, this might do some damage. Yeah, this might chain for a nice combo, whatever, right? He's at 70%. You're like, what happened? It was Arcfire and like a fair nair or something. It was just so much damage. I'll be okay, that's probably not gonna do 70. But like you would just see so much exploding damage from Robin when you least expect it. And that's going to bring it home for CU Boulder. CU Boulder's going to be moving on to Atlanta over Old Dominion. Congratulations to CU Boulder for taking first place here at the last chance qualifier for CECC 22. Moving up to Atlanta now in May 7th to May 8th. I'm very excited to see how that whole bracket's going to play out with all these qualified teams. It has been an incredible journey so far, but we're going to take a very quick break just to line ourselves up for an interview, and then we'll give you guys our closing thoughts. But don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss the interview. It's gonna be a great time. We'll see you guys soon. Welcome back, everybody. The dust has just settled on the last chance qualifiers for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate at CECC 2022. We're going to have CU Boulder moving up to Atlanta on May 7th and May 8th. And I mean, they've got so many amazing players. It's kind of hard to really pick anyone to choose for an interview that, of course, we have to have after their victory. But we decided to go with the Robin players since they did take up quite a lot of screen time and they were really, really consistent on how well they were playing. So let's bring in N here. Welcome to the stream.
Hey, it's nice to see y'all.
It must be a tiring day. All of us, we've all been here for quite a while. Competitors,
Yeah.
commentators, stream producers, it's all been quite an adventure. But it's culminated to this. These are some really, really thrilling finals. How are you guys feeling right now? You're going to Atlanta. What's running through very base instinct? How do you feel?
Feels pretty good. It's always nice to get the chance to play in something offline. College leagues, especially right now with COVID, are generally restricted to online, which is fun, but it's not as exciting as being right there with your opponent. So it's nice to have the chance to head out to something like that.
That's great. It's great. I'm sure the team's all on board too. You guys are all must be celebrating, must be pretty happy. Have you guys kind of looked into much of how the competition's looking at for the top 8 there, or like the top cut there, or are you guys gonna worry about that a little bit later?
We're probably gonna have to worry about that a bit later. We kind of found out about this not last minute, but only like a month or so ago. So we haven't had too much time to look into who we're going to be up against. But feel like we should be able to take whoever it is.
That's great. Throw it over to Soy. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, again, congratulations on your victory today, and you in particular, and were playing on fire today. It felt like you were playing with a lot of confidence. What's your, I think, biggest? What do you think is your biggest strength as a player overall?
My biggest strength, I think I'm really good at the stops and sort of last hit scenarios, which is very useful for a crew battle. I think if I'm on my last stock, I tend to do a lot better than on the other 2 stocks, which, be nice to play like that all the time, but if I can pull it out when I need it, that's good enough for me.
Yeah, there were a couple of games here. I mean, that you in particular, you had quite the character variety, I guess, and there were a lot of matchups that I guess are, for lack of a better way of putting it, kind of uncommon in terms of character matchups. The Villager, Wii Fit, and Snake in this one in particular, not characters you'd see all too often. So how did you kind of prepare, or what's the kind of mindset going into those unique matchups?
Well, we're all practiced. There is an element of, no matter the matchup, you're playing the same game still, with a few exceptions. Luigi. There's not really any time where you have to completely switch up your fundamentals. And besides that, we do, like everyone on the team, has been playing, well, at least most of the people on the team play a fair bit of online. We play with each other a lot, go to tournaments. So we see most of those matchups. In fact, here in Colorado, there's a good villager named Samfish. There's a really good snake named Kronos. So we see, those rarer matchups more frequently than you might think.
And we saw, I believe, 4 different players for this roster play today. Is there anyone you would like to kind of shout out as a type of like hidden boss, or someone you think is kind of on the rise on your team?
It's hard to say because they're all such good players. We've got recently this Mediocre joined the team, who I think is pretty good. He hasn't gotten the chance to play too much in anything just because he joined fairly recently compared to the rest of us. Besides him, we've mostly been here since the start of the year. But, I think everyone on the team has some seriously high potential. Like, when they're playing at their best, it's really impressive.
It's great to have that sense of camaraderie and everything like that. Well, Thank you so much for joining us today, and it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. It's been an absolute pleasure watching you, and I'm really excited to see how the rest of your team does in Atlanta. Congratulations again. Must be absolutely incredible from your end. I can only imagine just a modicum of that elation of like, I get to travel to play in esports. It's going to be awesome. Oh, man, I'm super excited to see where everything goes. Thank you so much for joining us, and best of luck in all future endeavors. We'll be seeing you on the big stage in Atlanta in 2 weeks.
Thank you very much. See you then.
All right, Soy. Well, that just about wraps it up for us. How do you feel about today? What's going through now that everything is settled? We talked to Ann about it. It's all done. We have an Atlanta chosen team. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, congrats to all the teams that were able to make it here and play in this tournament. But I mean, although the season comes to an end, we saw a lot of good play from a lot of good teams overall. I mean, Old Dominion, how close they came and how confident they felt early on. Tennessee, we didn't get to see them, but I know I've seen them in the past have big performances. St. Thomas Aquinas, and even Northwood as well. Ohio State, all of them. Shout outs for them for partaking and participating in this tournament. But at the end of the day, Colorado, this is a well-deserved victory. Their players just were so ready and so prepared, and just everything came online for them today. It was so much fun to watch, and I cannot wait to see LAN environment. I've never been to one, but it just looks and feels different just from watching. It's going to be so much fun when May 7th and May 8th roll around.
Yeah, as someone who's been to a lot of offline Smash events, it is a different feeling altogether. Online Smash it's its own beast. It feels like a different game, really. And once you get offline, not only do you have a much more responsive, much faster game where you can play more technical characters and you can deal with cheesier characters a bit easier, but on top of that, the sense of community is also just so strong, so powerful. I think that's what is a very big driving force around why so many people play games like Smash Bros. And other 1v1 fighting games, is that local scene is the heart and the soul of the community. So while that I love that we're able to do this online from the comfort of our homes, and all these teams are able to play against each other, at a national level across the country, there's just nothing like offline. And I'm so excited to see all these teams kind of converge. It's going to be a memorable, super special experience. I'm going to offline Smash event next weekend, Low Tide City in Round Rock, Texas. So I'm pretty excited for that too. Smash keeps going. All the love keeps rocking. But here on Esports U, we actually are going to have Valorant semifinals casted by our very own, one moment, it's loading. Yeah, Septilids and Hail Monkey Man. Sorry, I had them up, and my computer is not been doing great today. But yeah, Septilids and Hail Monkey Man will be taking care of our Valorant semifinals for CNCC 2022. I believe they're also playing LCQ. Not entirely sure. That might be their main bracket. Either way, definitely do stick around for that. That will be LCQ. Please do stick around for that. It's going to be super exciting to watch. It's going to be, I believe, Texas A&M versus GCU. So A&M's a team that I personally got a bit of beef with, considering another Texas college. I think they knocked down my own colleges during the group stage of the League of Legends circuit. So there's always something. It's always these rivalries. Both within state and out of state. Is always stuff going on in collegiate esports. So definitely do stick around to watch those matches. They're going to be fantastic. But besides that, that's all we got for you today on the end of Super Smash Brothers. I'm Combo. It's been an absolute pleasure casting for you guys, for Esports U and for CNCC. If you guys want to drop me a follow, drop me a message, whatever, my Twitter is right here at ComboFGC. DMs are always open. I've been joined by the wonderful Soy.
Yes, thank you. And if you want to give my Twitter a follow, it's down below, Soyson J Sport. And I hope to do something like this more often. This has been a blast, and Combo, you've been great as well.
Thank you so much, Soy. It's been fantastic casting alongside you as well. Well, that wraps it just about us. But before that, I do want to give a quick shout out to the production team here. We have Cole Toon in the back running so many things. I think he's actually helping host another stream at the same time as this one is also going on, just back and forth between everything. I think he'll also be running the Valorant stuff. Big shout outs to everyone in the Esports U crew. We had Paulie on earlier today showing us what hype can really be. It's in the name, so he's going to put out a good show. I mean, this has all been an incredible experience, and as a commentator, it's been a great time. And I also do hope to be partaking in more Smash stuff in the future with Esports U. So until then, hope you all take care. Please do stick around for Valorant. We'll see you guys later.